How you doing, guys? First thing I want to do before I go on with the video is sorry I wasn't able to make a video in 2 to 3 weeks. I had a family emergency that I'm still trying to work out, but we're working on several videos we're going to be doing over the weeks, and including the one I'm doing right now. Now Apple recently come out with a lot of new laptops, and also they came out with a new Final Cut Pro 10.3 update, also to compressor and motion, but primarily we're going to be covering the new interface for 10.3. And first thing we're going to cover is they also included a new standard, which is Rec 2020, which is to cover ultra wide gambit monitors and flat screen televisions and so forth. And to see that, we're going to actually go right here. If you look down here where it's color processing in the inspector, library properties, and you can go from standard, which I believe is Rec 709, which has been out for a very long time for HD video, to wide gambit, which is the Rec 2020. So that is a nice inclusion into Final Cut Pro. And we're going to cover some of the new interface changes. It does have a more flatter appearance, similar to iOS and even Sierra. And they reduced the size, of course, with the time code right here in the center. And it seems to, the reason they made it flatter is they wanted the video clips and audio clips and so on to stand out, I guess, rather than the interface. Now I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and I like it a lot better than the old style, with a few exceptions. Of course, it's more of our opinion. Everybody has their preferences. So we're going to cover some of the new changes starting on the upper left hand side. You're going to have the media import button right here, and I think this for keyframing is next. Keyword editor, and then background rendering, which used to be in the center right here. Also on the upper left hand side, you have these 3 little icon buttons. First one is for your video clips, second one for your photos and audio selection for different sources, and then the third one is your titles and generators. So we're just going to leave that on video for right now. The lower left hand side, you have your 3 buttons that's always been there, which is putting clips, video clips above your primary storyline, in between, or the end of your storyline. Of course, you got your keyboard shortcuts as well. Now the fourth button, which is new, is overwrite the primary storyline, which I haven't had a chance to use. Maybe I will in the future. And then your tools are pretty much in the same place right here. Now, always pretty much the this button right here for transform, crop, and distort has always been the same, with an addition of 2 more buttons, primarily for color balance, color match, and for your color board. If you do color correction grading, that'll pop up where the usually the inspector goes right there. And the third new button is where they put for your timing, fast and slow motion, and ramp, speed ramp, and instant replay, and so on right here. Okay, we're going to go to the upper right hand side, and you have several buttons which changes the interface. It may get rid of your video clips depending on your needs. And then of course, and let me move that back right there, and then for the inspector as well, right there, and then for rendering out to your final product, or which can also be uploaded to YouTube, Facebook, as always. The lower right hand side, there's a couple of new things. or pretty much actually some are in the same spot. Here, of course, your video and audio effects, and then your transitions right there. Now this one's a little bit different. This was normally, I believe, on the bottom part of Final Cut Pro. Now they put it on the right side in the middle, and this has changed a little bit as well, because I've been finding you can actually make the video clips a lot bigger, and my eyesight isn't the greatest. I wear bifocals and regular glasses as well, so with the ability to make the clips much bigger, and I find that really helpful in most situations. So I'm kind of glad they did that. Also new is workspaces. Right here you go to Window, Workspaces, and here you can organize things on how you work, and then you could save the workspace as needed and then go to it for your workflow. And give an example, here's the default that I have right now, and if I'm gonna, let's say I want to do color correction portion rather than the editing, I can hit color and effects, and then it sets it up. Since I have all my clips in the timeline, and of course I got my inspector open, scopes, and video and audio effects, so you can which is very useful depending on how you set up your workflow. And like I said, you can save it, but we're just gonna switch back to default, and it kind of threw everything out of whack a little bit. And then actually we're going to, yeah, way out of whack it looks like. Hopefully they'll fix that. And let me see, a couple more things we're going to cover. You can also, as far as roles, you can select colorizing your audio and video clips, depending like for audio, dialogue, special effects, lavalier, or whatever color you want to use, simply by clicking on the audio, right clicking, excuse me. Then you simply go into your audio roles or video roles and simply choose what color you want to use, or roles that you have predefined. Now you can also go into edit roles if you want to change the color. And we're going to choose effects, and this is the one I put in myself with the color purple, which has already been done. So I could simply go in here and change the audio roles, change the color or the type, and I could change this effects into or dialogue into effects, and as you can see it changes the color as well. But we're going to keep that dialogue because that's what it really is. I just wanted to give you an example. Oops, and let me change that back real quick. Back to dialogue. And of course all this is searchable if you go into the index over here and into roles, and it's actually got a couple new features. If you have particularly a lot of video and or audio clips, let's say you just want to minimize all your effects and everything else and just see the dialogue, and you want to work on that, you would simply click on this little circle and it'll minimize, in this case, the effects. And we can do the same as well, minimize all the dialogue, so you just want to work on effects only, and so forth. So that's another nice addition to that. And let me see if there's anything else I wanted to add. Actually we might come back on that. Okay, that's all we're going to cover as far as this Final Cut Pro 10.3. Stand by for some more videos in the near future, and thank you for watching.